All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Experience. So I was doing this video, and then uh, I got an interrupt call, right? So they'll do that whenever I am exposing certain things. They will, particularly if I'm doing a video where I'm using the screen recording software, they will have someone call me, right? So Pam called me. I'm like, why is she calling me? Right? Why she? But then again, they do it also to test my memory, right? Because there's certain things that they were trying to test my memory all day. This is what they usually do when they target me so heavily, particularly when I'm being hit with microwave and radio wave frequency, just to test my memory to see if my short-term memory has been greatly affected, right? And again, they just it's like I said, I don't pay it any mind because I know they're false narratives, their lies, and their deceptions, right? So she had told Ethan that that she told Ethan to call her when he was ready because he's going to meet her. Right? So she's calling me. I'm like, why are you calling me? Didn't you tell Ethan to call you when he's ready? Then she's like, oh, I'm just calling. Um, just communicate. I'm like, yeah, you only communicate when it's convenient for you, right? And I got to be honest because that's how she is, right? She'll communicate when it's convenient for her, right? So she's in the background, and I guess they wanted me to hear it because they wanted me to, with one of her coworkers to try to get her, this is what they do, right? So they'll have her call me, then they'll have a coworker in the background, and they'll be saying something, setting the whole shit up, all right, to send me some subliminal message. But I'm like, whatever. Okay, so anyhow, so I was reading about a woman who died at Wells Fargo, okay, and she went unnoticed for 5 days. Okay, even though it says 4 days here in the heading, if you read the thing, it says 5 days, right? So again, we heard stories of this, like Joy Vincent. I was talking about Joy Vincent in the previous video, and that's when as I mentioned, Joy Vincent. Within a couple of seconds later, they activate her mind to call me, right? So anyhow, um, so it took Wells Fargo 4 days to notice that an employee had died in their cubicle. Okay, Denise Puthomi, 60, passed away on Friday and was found on a Tuesday. Okay, at around 7 a.m. on a Friday, Denise Puthomi scanned into her Wells Fargo job, housed in a corporate office in Tempe, Arizona. She was found dead at her cubicle 4 days later. Pahomey, 60, was pronounced dead by police on Tuesday. As I said, dead by police. Here, the using the police sirens. Okay, that's my son. Right. On Tuesday, August 20th at 4:55 p.m., the Tempe Police Department told Fortune she had not scanned out of the building since Friday. While the investigation is still open, the police. While the investigation is still open, here they use the sirens. Okay, again, very low to avoid detection from the mic on the phone. Right, the police didn't see any obvious indicators of foul play. Officers explained. Officers added that Pahome family had been notified of her death. The cause remained unclear, and a message left with the medical examiner office was not immediately returned. Asked for comment, Wells Fargo sent Fortune the same prepared statement shared with others. We are deeply saddened by the loss of our colleague Denise Prudhomme. The company said, adding, it is committed to the safety and wellness of our workforce. Wells Fargo continued, our thoughts are with her family and loved ones, and we are in contact to ensure they are well supported during this difficult time. The company added that it is reviewing internal procedures and providing counselors to those impacted. Employees are understandably feeling shaken. It's really heartbreaking, and I'm thinking, what if I was just sitting there? A worker told local television station, KPNX. No one would check on me. Indeed, the tragedy of a worker being found at her desk nearly 5 days after clocking in feels so corporately callous it enters the realm of surreal. Pahome's cubicle was reportedly on the third floor of the building away from a main aisle. Doesn't matter. There's co-worker there. They saw her. They don't leave together. Hmm? She don't speak to any co-workers, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just, anyway, explaining why it took 4 days to discover the body, Wells Fargo told the outlet that Pahome's desk was located in a very unpopulated area. Building security had called the police department on Tuesday after the week was well underway, according to employee accounts reported by KPXN. A colleague had found Pahome after several people had reported smelling a foul odor. While most employees work remotely, the building is staffed with constant security, according to the outlet. That's the scary part. That's the uneasy part, the employee told a local publication. Of a blind eye turned is negligent in some parts. Okay? Now, okay, I thought he had said something about five. It was, but again, what they did, I think what they did is basically change the text. Because when I first read it, as I was doing the video, it said, the first video said 5 days. Okay? Now, I cannot go back and edit the video because it is a video, right? So, and Pam had called me, so her name and number shows up. So I can't even, show you guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing too. So they'll do shit like that, right? They will do shit like that and change the entire text because again, they know what I'm reading, and we're talking about real-time edit, real-time surveillance, real-time monitoring of not just me, but the people that I know, right? And using a silent sound to interject certain things into their mind. Okay? No, it sounds sci-fi, but it is not. And I'm going to give you an example too. So anyway, there's another story years back. Okay? Let me pull that article up. Give me a sec. Okay. So, this article, again, this is an article about Joyce Carol Vincent. Okay? How could this young woman lay dead and undiscovered for almost 3 years? When the filmmaker Carol Morley read that the skeleton of a young woman had been found in a London bedsit, she knew she had to find out more. On the 25th January 2006, officials from a South London housing association repossessing a bedsit in Greenwood owing to rent arrears made the grim discovery. Laying on the sofa was the skeleton of a 38-year-old woman who had been dead for almost 3 years. In the corner of the room, the television set was still on, turned to BBC, and a small pile of unopened Christmas presents lay on the floor. Washing up was heaped in the kitchen sink, and a mountain of posts lay behind the front door. Food in the refrigerator was marked with 2003 expiration date. The dead woman's body was so badly decomposed it could only be identified by comparing dental records with an old holiday photograph of her smiling. Her name was revealed to be Joyce Carol Vincent. I first read about Joyce when I picked up a discarded copy of The Sun on the London Underground train. And before I continue, when I was reading the name Joyce Carol Vincent, now you heard me pause because immediately after I read that name, the New York Predator Department started using their sirens. Okay, when I noticed that, I heard that, I said, okay, there are pre-programmed messages, right, that they have put into my subconscious. So whenever I read certain things, it will be of a negative nature. And so what I do before those things can come up, I change the negative message before it even comes into my mind. Okay. So when I heard that police siren, as soon as I said Joyce Carol Vincent, and after right immediately after, they start using their sirens. Right? It's like whoop, again, very low. Right? So that I would not so that again the phone would not be able to pick up the sirens that they're using. Right? They're very, very careful in what it is that they're doing because they don't want me to be they don't want to be exposed again, and I continue to expose them, but particularly when I'm reading, they don't want you guys to hear the constant use of the sirens. Okay. And again, it's a very low whoop sound, very short, very low, but when I'm saying certain words, they'll use the sirens. Okay. Okay, so the paper reported the Gothic circumstances of a dead woman dead in flat for 3 years. Skeleton of Joyce found on sofa with telly still on will reveal almost nothing about her. There was not even a photograph of her. Now, I'm not going to read all this, but I just want to say this again as I talk about being a target individual and how they can use the technology to literally not only erase you from people's mind, right? But they also use propaganda. They also use the villainization, right? And psychology and psychiatry and cyber warfare in order so that you can withdraw from the society, withdraw from the people that you know, family members and friends and stuff like that, right? And a big part of it is because those family members, some friends know what's going on. I talk about Zoom, right? Zoom, the people that was put into the Zoom program experienced the exact same thing. Maybe in terms of the psyops, right, and the villainization, okay, the drugging, the illegal drugging, the spreading of rumors and such, okay. This again, this is they're doing this here, and again, this is why most countries in Europe have anti-mobbing laws, right? But in the United States, we don't have the laws because these things are condoned by those by those in the state, work for the state, and the federal government. Okay, the military as well as security agencies and law enforcement. Okay. Then there was another woman, again, and it's interesting how these things that when they do these things, it happens primarily with women. There was another woman, this time in Australia. Okay, let me see if I can find that that article. Okay, so while looking for that story of that woman in Australia, I found another video, which this is in the UK again, right? Where a woman 38, she lay dead for 4 years before she was found in mummified state. Okay, so this woman 38, she suffered from schizophrenia, but still, schizophrenia. If you have family, your families don't hear from you for a month or so, you go and you check, you call if you know where she's at. She's actually you know where she's living. You go and you check. I'll tell you that at times, particularly like I call my son, my oldest son, who I haven't spoken to him in a few months because again I don't know what's going on with him, but I call him. Now he doesn't call me back, right? I text him, he doesn't text me back, but I try to call him. I don't have his mother number to call her, so make sure he's okay. But but I know he talks to other family members like my grandnephew who is around his age. So I'm like, okay, at least I know he's okay, right? But for 4 years, you don't hear from a family member who is suffering from mental illness, and you don't go check. You don't even call to have a wellness check. Nothing. So there's more to this than meets the eye. Like I said, these women are targeted. They are targeted. They are targeted individuals. Okay. But again, this is it's crazy, right? I mean, Laura Wyndham, 38, was found in a mummified state in her home in Working, Surrey, in May 2021, but it is believed that she died November 2017. Right? I mean, you know, there is more going on here. When our emotions are being manipulated, when we've become detached to one another, and again, this is being done by external sources and external forces. This is what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna come back again. I'm gonna try to find that article of that Sydney woman. Okay, it's not the Sydney story, but again, another woman who was found dead in her flat after 2 years. 2 years, right? Again, I don't know what's going on with the UK, right? And I hope it's not going to start. Well, it might be starting happening here in the US. But woman body lay undiscovered in flat for 2 years, inquest told. Any death is sad, but to lie undetected for over 2 years is difficult to fathom, in 2022, coroner said. Okay, the woman lay dead in her flat for 2.5 years before being discovered by police. An inquiry has heard. Sheila Celion skeleton remains were found in her southwest London home in February. The 61-year-old probably died at the flat in Peckham in August 2019. A hearing at Southwark Coroner Court was told. Officers broke through the door earlier this year after receiving reports from neighbors concerning for her welfare. See, at least the neighbors were concerned, but still, it took them 2.5 years. Okay? And the reason why they call, right, it says here, is because it says residents had made several reports to the Peabody Housing Association, raising concern about a bad smell building up in her letterbox and not having seen her for some time. Okay? Right? So, I mean, if it's, I'm with George Vincent, people walked by her apartment and they thought it was the garbage outside. But I'm like, how do you think it's the garbage outside? When you go outside, you're not smelling it. It's a different smell. So how do you know what I'm saying? It's like people don't even think. But again, this is what's being done. Our cognitive, we talk about cognitive warfare. This is part of what it's about. Okay? I'm still trying to find that article. Here it is. Here it is. Okay? This is what the woman Sydney forgot. Lay dead at home for years. An elderly woman lay dead in her inner city home in Sydney for nearly, this is even longer, for nearly 8 years. I'm saying 2 years. I couldn't even remember all of the details of this, right? For nearly 8 years before her skeleton remains were found. An inquest heard yesterday. The media has dubbed the case the forgotten Sydney woman. Miss Nolly Wood was discovered, as I said, Miss Nolly Wood, New York Police Department, using their sirens. And also, too, whenever me and Pamela get into an argument, right, and they'll put me through these little tests, right, and then all of a sudden they'll project this, using silent sound, and in my head, I would say wood. Would meaning, like a sexual thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, using honey traps to manipulate her, right? Because they're trying to, manipulate my feelings or hurt my feelings, but it doesn't hurt my feelings. Okay, I know what they're doing, so it doesn't hurt my feelings, right? What they're doing is literally using honey traps to manipulate her, right? Raising her body counts as it goes up, her value is going down. Okay, and so when I say value, not her value as a woman, but her value in terms of in the eyes of men, who will, if a man wants to take her seriously, and every man should know about a woman's sexual history. Same thing with women. Every woman should know about a man's sexual history. Right? Now, a lot of women will lie about it. You know what I'm saying? But these women today, they don't care. Their body counts over 100, 200, and they think that's a flex. Right? Anyhow. So Miss Nollywood was discovered by the police in 2011, having died in 2004. She is believed to have fallen in her bedroom and was unable to get up. The inquest into her death started yesterday. Miss Wood Terrace house Meters from the city central station appeared abandoned when she was found with wet cobs, water damage, and even a growing tree through the top windows. Detective Senior Constable Andrew Wells told the, the Glebe Coroner Court there was no mattress in the house, which is estimated to be worth almost 1 million, 1.1 million, no television, and no fridge, reporter says. Right? So somebody must have been in that house. They probably must have been in the house and took the fridge and took the TV and didn't call the police. They might have even killed her. Right? So while no, as I said, they might even kill her. Yeah, sorry. Whoop. All right. No, while no purse or wallet was found, rings and other valuable lay untouched. Senior Constable Willis said Miss Wood, who had lived in the house since she was born in 1924, was a recluse. She kept to herself. She told, again, that's what I'm thinking, these women are targeted individuals. Okay? Just for the fact that no one have any ounce of concern for these women, don't even call, don't even check on them. The woman that died at the Wells Fargo, she had family. Okay? Her co-workers. Right? What happened? Yeah, now you hear the ambulance now. Okay? Neighbors told the police that they thought she had moved away and the house was vacant. She had no will, and her sister-in-law, Enid Davis, and 4 distant cousins are making a claim on her estate. So they never even once called to check up on this woman. But the fact that she died, now all of a sudden they call him because now they want to make the claim for her estate. Okay? Miss Davis told the coroner that she last saw her from a bus window in 2004. The inquest continued. When I talk about this stuff, okay, how it is that these women could die the way that they die, and that no one, right? So for Joyce Vincent, her employer didn't call to check up on her. Her family didn't call to check up on her, or go check up on her. They never called for a wellness check, right? Her light was still on, right? And again, to me, it's like for 3 years and your light's still on. You haven't paid your light in how many years, and they still keep your lights on. Let me know something was wrong. But then this is how they send messages. This is how they send for people like me who understand and who know what's going on. Her cable was still on. They didn't turn off her cable at all. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And the woman from this in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, for what I remember, it was the electric company that went to check the meter. So her electricity was for 8 years. I said that when they went to check the meter, New York Police Department using the siren. Right, that he went to check the meter, and I think he might have seen the door open, and then he looked through it and he saw her there. But yeah, again, they didn't turn off her electricity for almost 8 damn years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this shit is incredible, man. Let me tell you. I mean, it is really, really something. Let me see this. Okay, that's not that one. I think this was one I was trying to see if it was her. So let's see. Okay, that's not. Nope. Trying to find another report on that woman. Okay, that's Joyce Vincent. No. But anyhow. So again, when you look under the circumstances of how no one even, like, these people have been erased out of the people around their mind, even their co-workers. You know what I'm saying? Something, again, cognitive warfare as well as neurocognitive warfare, right? These women were targeted individuals. I would not say otherwise, because I know what they do in these programs, I know how they manipulate us. They manipulate the people around us. They villainize us because they are attempting to get away with non-consensual human experimentation. Okay? Just think about it. Think about these things critically, right? That no one, no family member, no co-workers, no friends, neighbors, nothing. Okay? Not even an ounce of concern or care. And when you see how the society is moving in the direction like that, I want you guys to go and Google cognitive warfare and neurocognitive warfare. Okay? Also, silent sound spread spectrum. Microwave radio wave frequency for mind control. Talk to you guys in the next video.